I made my way down to the Hampshire border with Surrey and Sussex to this gorgeous Tudor building from 1520. And you had to have a tour. Welcome to this magnificent Tudor home. It's originally 3 cottages, now into 1, down in Headley, near Borden. So I'm going to give you a bit of a guided tour. First of all, introducing you to Bean, the blonde one, and Frog. I just want to give you the highlights of the Tudor house. This comes with the blessings of Caroline and Martin, who are history teachers. Now, some of you, when I've mentioned what an Aga is, weren't sure. So this is an Aga. So we have a simmer plate here and a boil plate here. So literally I put the kettle on there and it's done in 2 minutes. This is really, really hot to the touch, and you absolutely wouldn't touch those. So, you know, when we had the 2 days of British summer this week, and they got to 27 degrees, and you're in this kitchen that's radiating something that's absolutely burning, it's a little hot. So the oven stays on at 230 degrees. Yes, you know I'm talking to you, Bean, don't you? Anyway, that is an Aga, and I love the little bird table outside, out to the garden. So we'll come through to look at the beams and the small lintels, and I'm not sure how they manage in this house, being 6'4", the dining room space. There's 2 magical pieces in here. First of all, it's the fireplace from 1520. And, apparently this is an original pilgrim's mark on the wall. And you can imagine what's been inscripted on here over 500 years. Out to the garden. And then this is the other piece of magic on the wall. Original Tudor artwork. And on the wood, and the marks on the wood here are where they took off the original covering. So goodness knows what lies behind the other panels of the wall. But isn't that amazing to have that displayed? Here's another magnificent fireplace through to the floor. So you step up and step down into each of the rooms. Have a look at the slope on the walls through there. And literally as I walk here, my head, this is my hand here, my head, as I step on, I have to bow down with my foot on the steps. It is small. And then we have the dog's room. Wonderful exposed beams. And I know maybe the utility might not be the highlight for most people, but I think that's magical, with the beams and the use of the space. Yes, Frog, what are we doing? Another room in there. And can you see how the second stair from the top is so much bigger than the others? So everybody trips up this. So as we come up the stairs, again, beautiful, beautiful original beam work. Bathroom there, through to here. Again, I don't need to share the personal space, but I do need to share the pièce de résistance. In this little cupboard in the wall, and if I switch on the light, this is an example of the original wattle and daub wall. Caroline doesn't clean this out, and down there is an original Tudor slipper that I learnt later they left them in the houses as good luck. So that slipper's 500 years old, since the house was built. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a priest's hole at some point. But isn't that amazing to have that in your home? Quite a sight. And again, beams. And like other houses I've stayed in, We have two sets of stairs at the beginning and the end. But I just wanted to show you, oh, and also how can I go past this? More, I don't know how this panel is on this wall. I really don't know how this came about to be here in this section, but it is. And again, here's the beam. If I stand on the footwell, I can't, well, you can see in the mirror in front, I'm on the footwell with my knees bent. They were small people for sure. Ciao, ciao. So we're back to some still shots, and that's of the magnificent Tudor artwork on the wall. I can't get over that. And this is a look down through the doorways with beans sitting there. I love the timber. And again, a still shot of the wattle and daub wall. And then out to the garden with a well. Apparently it's very deep, very dark, very smelly, not to be opened. Into the large garden, the back of the house. They've just had some new roof work done, so it doesn't leak anymore. And they're going to have an extension put on this part of it as well. And the beautiful dogs, mum and daughter. They were just a joy, so obedient. Just hanging out for some food there. Lovely area just to sit and relax with a book. Beautiful bedroom I had. Gorgeous embroidered throw on the bed with the beams. And that's just a view to show you how close your head is to the beams. And I'm not that tall. I loved this house and the dogs. They really were so good. Followed me everywhere. You left the room, they came with you, but never upstairs. And the gorgeous All Saints Church next door. It had some real history to it. We went to have a look around. I had a friend visiting. This is 1260 medieval stained glass, some of the oldest in England. And obviously the beams of the church. And then on the floor were brasses from 1510. And as a kid, I remember putting paper over them and you rubbed them with charcoal and made prints. Most of them have been ripped out now. And there's some interesting stuff going on in the skies all around the world. You make of it what you will, but cloud patterns fascinate me with what's going on, what we've been given to breathe in. Salad from the garden and veggies and fresh strawberries. Oh, it's just such a treat to have that growing outside. And I headed off to Petworth. This was my National Trust place for the week. A grand old building described as English Versailles, redone in the 17th century. It's massive. That's the chapel window that you see there. And I've just got a selection of artwork, which I loved. Turner was a visiting artist at this house, so he has 19 original paintings in the property, the largest collection outside the Tate. So if artwork's your thing, it's great. Loved this picture. And of course, photos don't do it justice, but it recaptures a moment for me, such detail in it. There is room after room of the most fantastic artwork here at Petworth, Sussex. The high ceilings, out to the servants' quarters. And just magnificent art. So there's 19 Turners here. And they were artists in residence. It's the largest Turner collection outside London. I've no idea why my microphone didn't work at this point, but hey, this is the grand staircase going up. It really was magnificent. The tall walls, ceilings with the decoration on. Really quite amazing. And then as I went up the stairs, you could see it from the second floor. A little bit more detail, a little bit more close up of the images. You couldn't go beyond those sections, but what a grand place. And then we came into the carved room. This was amazing. The intricate woodwork by a man named Grinling Gibbons was absolutely stunning. Obviously you recognise Henry VIII there. I can't name too many of the other people in the portraits or the sculptures, but the room was so full of amazing artwork, including Turner's and other. Van Dyck was there as well, lots of that artist as well. This is a still shot of the wooden carvings, which was so intricate. It was worthy of a photo. I like this one. I like the faces in this. They made me laugh. Kind of wonder what's going on. Now this was another grand room. This is called the Northern Gallery, I believe. Fabulous artwork and statues, sculptures. There was so much in this room. And what was interesting, Lord Egremont was there, one of the guides told me. She'd only seen him twice in the last 5 years, and he was showing obviously some friends around the place. And so he was, it would have been his forefathers that owned this house. That's him walking towards us in the blue jumper and beige slacks with his friends. And he now lives at just one end of the house in private quarters. He had to donate the house to the National Trust to pay inheritance tax bills. But must be a strange thing walking around your great grandfather's house, or whatever generation it was. And I love the guide in the pink shirt there, asleep on his afternoon duties. But it really was an amazing place. And just some still shots there. That's a Gainsborough, if you know your artists. These are two Turners. You might recognise his style. I'd seen a Turner exhibition in Adelaide one year. And that was Archangel Michael stabbing Satan. Quite powerful. And then we came up to the Molyneux globe, which you can see from the description. The first terrestrial globe to be made in England and the only surviving first edition made in the 16th century. I found that absolutely fascinating. And then we were coming into the chapel. Again, Lord Egremont was in there, hence me, with his friends, hence me filming the detail before I filmed the room, which is very Baroque style, as you can read in there. There he is having a chat with his cohorts. He said, I heard him over saying he didn't get married here, but 2 of his children did. That must be quite amazing to have a chapel in your own house to get married. Then opposite the main building are the servants' quarters, which was a massive building in itself. So this is just the pastry room, which was a dedicated room for making the desserts and the fineries, and the cupboard of the pastry cutters. There was a vast kitchens and long corridors and separate rooms for. This was dedicated to making jams and preserves, etc. Really quite interesting space. This is the work of Angelina Kaufmann, who you might recall from Stourhead. This was the original piece, and this was when it was being renovated, and it was quite a fascinating exhibition to see the before and after. And this was the garden outside at Petworth. As always, beautiful blossoms. And I headed back home, and I just love this little picture window out to the bird feeder. I'm going to have one of those one day. Okay. Oh, and the dogs. The dogs are playing ball. We have a new thrower and a new ball. And now they're going to fight over the ball, and they chase each other after one ball. And eventually Bean, the white dog, gets it. And then when she gets it, she'll give it to me, and she's going to drop it. She's going to drop it. I can't throw it if you don't drop it. Right, you're going to drop it? Are you going to drop it? Yeah. Well, this isn't going to be a very long game of throw and catch, is it? If we're just fighting over one ball all the time. Oh, now you've got it. All right, you're going to put it down? Oh, hang on. Right. Oh, that ball's not orange, Bean says. It's just not orange. I want the orange one. And so the game continues, and then when one gets it, she just eats it out the other ones. Okay, they're going to bring it here? Frog? What are we going to do, puppy? What are we going to do? Where's the other ball? Where's the other ball? Okay. Well, we're not going to get too far, are we? One ball. Calling the village to church. Sunday. 10 to 10. It was the Saturday afternoon and I heard a chug 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 outside to find a steam locomotive pulled up outside the local pub opposite. And everything's holly there. I don't know if you've ever seen holly growing, but this is the lane down to the fields where I walked the dogs. And I left there back past Stonehenge. This is a view from slow-moving traffic from the side of the road. Good old Stonehenge.